Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. A wonderful day to all of you. Welcome to the Institute of Global Professionals. Thank you for joining us for another live session of free international webinar here in IGP. My lovely audience, I am Marbeth from the Philippines, and I am honored to be your host of the day. At the same time, I will be one of your speaker. I am so glad to be with you once again in this virtual world. If there is a thing that we should be thankful about during the pandemic period, I think it's the opportunity that it provides for us to gather virtually through this international free webinar brought to us by the Institute of Global Professionals, or IGP. I hope that everyone will stay with us until the end of the program because we have a lot of things in store for you today. Here in IGP webinars, you do not just listen to the speakers, but we encourage your participation through our quiz competition and the Q&A part. In our quiz competition, the top 10 participants will receive the quiz completion certificate that is right after the event. This will be posted in our IGP Facebook page. Then it will be available for you to download. This will be followed by the Q&A part where everyone will have the opportunity to interact with the speakers by sending in your questions in the comment section below. During our live show, there will be questions displayed on your screen. This will allow you to interact or share your opinion about the topic being discussed or the topic that has been discussed in our previous sessions. Simply send your ideas in the comment section below. Every day during our live session, we award Certificate of Lifetime Membership to the most active and consistent participants. So what are you waiting for? Share our live event to your friends and to your communities. Write comments and feedback in the comment section. Who knows, you could be the next recipient of IGP's Certificate of Lifetime Membership Certificate. In the latter part of the program, we will give you the certification code together with the certification process on how you can generate or auto-download your e-certificate. With this, everybody is encouraged to stay with us until the end of the program because we have a lot of things that awaits us today. I am sure all of us will have many takeaways and payoffs from this webinar that is only from IGP. I am proud to tell you that every day many new participants are joining with us. So I would like to welcome our new participants. I would like to say welcome to IGP family. With this, I am compelled to give you a little background about IGP. The Institute of Global Professionals serve as student and community resource, provide a holistic social work and education to create a proficient generation. We make it gettable to use for every knowledge seekers to originate personality, which is more ambitious and more confident in facing any circumstance to develop own skills. We believe that it is not effective to increase one's skill by just acquiring formal education. So we provide training and consultation to generate proficient generation through webinars, trainings, offline and online courses with best speakers and highly trained coaches from all around the globe so that we can cater you with the best learning platform. I'm proud to inform you that IGP is an ISO certified training and education institute. We are entrusted with international recognition. We are globally accredited. IGP is your trusted platform to learn new things from the global leading leaders. IGP is the leading online skill development institution with thousands of learners worldwide. Our mission is to empower people and enhance their skills through webinars. Most importantly, IGP is here. We are committed to serve. IGP is bringing the community of professionals to grow together and learn from each other. Here in IGP, learning never stops. We wish that you remain with us in this endeavor. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to be associated with IGP as a global member. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome all of you to the Institute of Global Professionals Free International Webinar. Once again, I am Marbeth, a core volunteer of IGP from the Philippines. I am so privileged to host today's webinar. With this, I would like to say, let's watch together and learn together. We believe that the power is gained by sharing knowledge, not hoarding it. Did you know that as of yesterday, we have already successfully completed 371 webinars in various topics of your interest? All of these are available in our website, that is www.eduigp.com. Again, that is www.eduigp.com. Feel free to access them anytime. We expect that all of you are getting a little bit benefited both in your personal and professional life. From time to time, you may like, share, tag your friends, and write comments. Share us how you feel about IGP and what you think about IGP. You may also share us how IGP is being helpful to you both in your personal and professional development. And also, don't hesitate to ask questions or write feedback. You may also give suggestions that will help us innovate the program in the comment section below. All of this will be greatly appreciated. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our Facebook page, Facebook group, and YouTube channel. Make sure to click the bell button below to be notified with our live streaming every day. Please support us by spreading the news about IGP's free international webinar to your friends and to your community. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. Mm, Before proceeding to our program, first allow me to greet some of our active participants, both in FB Live and YouTube channel live streaming. Hello and congratulations to Emmanuel Villafuerte for being our early bird today, and also Ma'am Evelyn Waperi. Hello, Ma'am Evelyn. And then greetings to Angelica Clarete, Rizelda Del Mundo, Siti Fraha Sahidin, Sabas Reina Maybe, Gemma Rivera, hello. Hello to Hitesh Kumar Sharma. Hello to Ryan Pakibo. And also to Sir Alex Javier Alvarez. Hello to Marcel Alipio. Hello to all of you. Hello to Ryan. Okay, I have mentioned Ryan already. Rose Ann San Juan. Hello to Kate Gaborno. To Marie Gold Alog. Also to John Angel Amarante. Hello to all of you and happy watching, everyone. Sorry for those names that I was not able to read, but greetings and hello to all of you. Without further ado, let's start our program with the IGP's mantra, that is, feed your skills, innovate, inspire, impact. For today, we are presenting webinar number 372 on collaborative learning during the new normal. And for today, we are going to have two speakers from the Philippines, and one of those speakers is none other but yours truly, Marbet R. De La Cruz. So I'm not going to welcome myself, but I'll just allow me to share my screen. Okay. So just like what I've said, today I will be discussing about collaborative learning first. Of course, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the founder of IGP, that is Kaushik Datta, for giving me this privilege to be one of your speakers for today's webinar. I accepted the challenge of being one of your speakers for today because I believe that the power is gained by sharing knowledge and not by hoarding it. And here in IGP, we'll learn together and we grow together. I'm sure that you are already familiar with me, but still allow me to give you my brief self-intro. Okay, I am Marbet R. De La Cruz, a licensed professional teacher from the Philippines, and I am teaching in Addition Hills Integrated School, SDO Mandaluyong, NCR, Philippines. I took my Bachelor of Science in Education, major in Communication Arts and English at Pamantasan ng Luzon, Manila. I have completed the academic requirements of Master of Arts in Education, major in Administration and Supervision at Eulogio Amang Rodriguez Institute of Science and Technology. I have completed an international diploma course in professional development and management with the Institute of Global Professionals, that is IGP. I would like to highlight this one. Attending IGP webinars provides us lots of opportunities, and this is one of those. It is not easy to gain or to receive a one-year international diploma certificate, but IGP made it possible for its active and consistent participants. Take note, this was given for free. So I encourage everyone to keep joining the IGP's free international webinar daily. Keep collecting your certificates so that you won't miss opportunities like this one. Okay, next, let me proceed to my next screen. For my awards and recognition, I was the fourth placer of demonstration teaching during the ADGAL third International Virtual Conference and Demonstration Teaching Festival. I was a chess coach, declamation coach contest, and debate coach contest, and I have won some awards in coaching these events. Also, I am a division English module writer of Project Lead, that is contextualized and localized activity intended for distance learning in SDO Mandaluyong. I am a member, resource speaker, and demonstration teacher of ADGAL Philippines. I am a proud global professional member, resource speaker, and regular host of IGP. Another thing, I am a member and advocate of a Aloysius publication, that is the Educator's Link. In case you are interested in publication or publishing your work, I will be sharing you my FB link. Send me message. You may send me message and I am willing to assist you. Okay, take a screenshot of that if you are interested in publication. Okay, I hope you're done so much with that. Let's proceed to our topic for today. Good day, everyone. Our topic for today is about collaborative tasks in the new normal. I will be discussing about what collaborative task is and the four learning modalities as basis in giving collaborative tasks. And last but not the least, I will be discussing about collaborative tasks that we can give to our learners. During my discussion, I will surely be engaging you a lot in the comments section. Then after my talk, my colleagues here, Sir Audrey Curtis, will be discussing about the theories in collaborative learning and e-platforms that can be used when giving collaborative tasks in the new normal. My fellow knowledge seekers, brace yourself as we discuss the different collaborative approaches that we can use in this new era of education. I hope that you will have many takeaways for today's session. First, let's define what collaborative learning is. Okay. When two or more people learn or attempt to learn or accomplish something together, that is collaborative work. A collaborative learning approach involves two or more pupils working together on activities or learning tasks in a small group and ensure that everyone participates in accomplishing the learning task or activity. Each pupil in the group may work together or may work on a separate task, contributing to a common overall outcome. Collaborative learning is the educational approach of utilizing groupings to enhance learning through working together. It is a group of two, just like I have said, or more learners work together to solve problems, complete tasks, or learn new concepts. This approach actively engages learners to process and synthesize information and concepts rather than using rote memorization of facts and figures. Learners who work with each other on project or collaborate together as a group to understand the concept being presented to them. This is collaborative learning. It is believed that in utilizing collaborative learning, learners will gain more complete understanding of the learning concept as a group than they could as individuals. The important thing here is mutual assistance in working towards common goal. Okay. Let's proceed to some of the benefits of collaborative learning. First, we have social interaction. They get to interact among themselves. They get to express their own idea, defending their position, reframing ideas, and listening to each other's perspective. They engage in thoughtful discussion with each other, improving both their understanding of the subject and their appreciation of each other. Since it involves active engagement, this means that the individual learns and retains more knowledge. Next benefit is communication. They learn to articulate their own opinion or idea. They can either agree or disagree in the opinion of their group members. They get to communicate their viewpoints. In doing this, the learners learn to organize their thoughts, present solid argument to demonstrate their perspective, defend it to their peers, and convince others that their standpoint is correct. It develop, it develops public speaking and active listening skills. Learners learn to speak well in front of an audience, that is, in front of their peers or co-members, and also they learn to listen actively when others are expressing their opinion. Next benefit is the deeper learning. They get to connect prior knowledge to the present concept that is being presented. They apply this knowledge in real life situation or scenario. Thus, deeper learning of the concept is achieved or acquired. Learners benefit a lot from hearing those various viewpoints or point of view. When a person is exposed to diverse viewpoints, especially from people with varied backgrounds, they get to learn more. Another benefit is critical thinking. They get to analyze situations or scenario. It provides opportunity for learners to think critically and rapidly. Learners learn to how to think critically and quickly while intaking new information and adjusting their own viewpoint as new ideas are coming in or introduced. They quickly synthesize responses and adjust their ideas once they find that their argument is lacking. This experience allows them to synthesize all the information that they are hearing. It, it turns learning into a truly active process. Another benefit is creativity. They get to express their own original ideas and display resourcefulness. Next is, but not the least, is self-worth. After they have accomplished the given task, they will have the sense of self-worth. They will value oneself. Once realize that they were able to accomplish or do something. Let me proceed with the process of collaborative test. How do we process or how do we do the collaborative test? First, you have to know, of course, as teacher, you should know your objective whenever you are giving collaborative tasks. What skill or skills do you intend to develop in providing collaborative activities? It is important for the teacher to know his or her objective of the lesson since this will serve as framework in creating the learning test. Then next is to prepare tasks based on the objective. The purpose of collaborative tasks is to hone the skill of the learners based on the objective of the lesson. Think what activities will help you develop the learning objectives. For example, your objective is for the learners to be able to write sentences using simple present tense of the verb. What are the collaborative activities that fits in this learning objective? Let them write poems or rhymes or even paragraphs. They can write slogans wherein the skills in writing sentences using simple present tense of the verb will be developed. Okay, next, it allows learners to have interaction among themselves. It may take longer time to process and synthesize the ideas, but the benefit of this activity is deeper understanding of the lesson. One person present his idea, then another person present another idea. As learners hear those ideas, the learner put these ideas together. All information are being processed and beautifully converted into acquired learning of new concept or skills. A learner gains full understanding of the topic as they have seen it in different angles. Next part of the process is allot time for learners to present their output. Let the learners share all the learnings that took place in their small group to the entire class so that everybody will benefit from what they have gained from the given collaborative work. Part of the process is to grade learners' output based on the given rubric. A rubric serves as guide for each group on how they should perform any given task. I will be telling you more about rubric later. And last but not the least is to give feed, feedback. Feedback time provides the teacher opportunity to modify and guide the learning that took place in each collab work or collab test. This enables the teachers to synthesize all learning experiences of the learners. Okay, before proceeding to my next slide, I would like to ask you, my dear teachers, my dear audience, especially the teachers, what is your basis when you are giving collaborative tests to your students? Or how do you plan it? How do you plan those activities? Well, probably many teachers would answer that they plan the collaborative test based on the learning competencies and the learning objective of the lesson. I totally agree with that, but how can we be sure that the learners are benefiting a lot in those activities? Or do they just simply do it because they don't want to get low grades or they don't want to be reprimanded for not complying in the given assigned tasks? How about giving them tasks that they will enjoy doing and they will be finishing it willingly? How can we do this? Let me present my next slide. Okay, collaborative test versus students learning modalities. Can you imagine a classroom where students are all busy doing their own tasks? It will be noisy for sure, but everybody is enjoying because they got to choose the activity that they want to do. This is very important when giving collaborative tasks. Allow learners to choose what or which activity they would prefer to do. I've been teaching for several years already, but honestly, I got surprised whenever I see the output of the output that the learners were able to accomplish. They are amazingly creative and imaginative. And the learners, they think outside the box. Different ideas coming from every member of each group put together presents amazing output or product. How is this possible? Simply by giving them or providing them collaborative tasks or learning activities according to their learning modalities. So what are the learning modalities? First, I would like to discuss to you the different learning modalities of the learners. Then I will be presenting some collaborative activities that I use in my classroom. And then we are going to incorporate this too by telling me in the comment section what learning modality benefit most in those activities that I will be presenting. The four learning modalities are the visual, the auditory, kinesthetic, and the tactile. As an educator, I believe that in providing collaborative tasks or any activities to the learners, it is important to take into consideration their learning modalities to maximize the learning experience that we provide for them. When we consider the learner's learning modality, they do not only learn, but they enjoy what they are doing. The theories of learning styles or learning modalities asserts that learners have preferences on how they receive and process information. It is important to note that learners' learning abilities and preferences vary in different contexts and on different tasks. Every learner processes information differently depending on the subject, the context, or the task. Therefore, a single child should not be labeled in any single modality, but instead, as teacher, we need to identify their mode of learning according to learning task given or learning concept presented. This is for them to learn effectively. Although some students learn best through one modality or worse through the others, many students use multiple different modalities to learn effectively. Take note that many scholars argue that there is no evidence that humans have built-in learning modalities. Let's discuss these four modalities one by one. First, we have the visual. Visual learners learn through watching demonstrations, graphs, images, visual note taking, or graphic organizers. They are good at identifying patterns and images. They can tell the difference between colors and shape very well upon seeing. They are often very neat and organized with their bookwork. They are very good at reading maps. And what are their weaknesses? They struggle with big chunk of text. They would prefer to learn by watching video or reading a graph. They struggle with audio only text. They may be easily distracted from their learning by movement or colors. And how do we teach them? Model learning through guided practice and demonstration. Provide graphs and images rather than articles to read. Encourage students to take well-organized notes. Provide graphic organizers. Next modality is the auditory. Auditory learners learn through listening stories, talking things through conversation, verbal repetition of information. They are very good at hearing patterns in music. They appreciate storytelling as form of thinking. They are skilled at explaining things in simple language. They can follow verbal direction with ease. They can quickly hear patterns in languages. And what are their weaknesses? They can be distracted by changes in sound around them. They struggle to learn in silence, such as through standardized tests, a silent reading activity, or the quiet moments. They struggle reading books. Instead, they would benefit from audiobooks. How do we teach them? Use storytelling or story-based instruction. Provide podcasts or digital audio. Encourage conversation and social interaction. Learning scenario in the classroom or social interaction. Ask the students to verbally repeat information or instruction to help them remember. Next, let's proceed to the next modality. The kinesthetic learner learns through interpretative dance, sports, and role play. They need to move about their learning environment. They can express themselves very well through dance and movement. They are the sports people. They like to learn by moving about their learning space, and they are very good in the forest school education environments, such as camping, hiking, or trekking. What is the weakness or what are the weaknesses of kinesthetic learners? They struggle to stay still during tests or quiet time. They have trouble paying attention to books and in other passive learning scenarios, such as lecture and discussion. They need physical activities rather than theoretical experiences to understand learning. How do we teach them effectively? Encourage role play during learning. Allow your students to move around the classroom or go outside to release their energy. Last, we have the tactile learners. Tactile learners learn through physical touch, moving, building, and manipulating objects, simultaneously doodling while listening. This sort of learners like to use fine motor skills to feel texture, get an understanding of size of things, and so on. They are different from the kinesthetic learners because they aren't focused on moving their bodies, but simply touching and manipulating the things that they are working with. What are the strengths of the tactile learners? They learn through play very well. They enjoy building and manipulate things with their hands very well. They appreciate practical learning scenarios where they actually do something while learning. And what are their weaknesses? They struggle with passive learning such as reading books or listening to their teacher. They struggle with theoretical explanations until they actually get a chance to apply these ideas in real life. And how do we teach the tactile learner? By using many props and allow the students to touch and play with them. Allow the students to doodle while they're listening. Well, I guess we are done with the 4 learning modalities. Next, let me show you my next slide. What I will be giving you here today are collaborative tasks that I used in my classroom before pandemic. In the comment section below, I want you to tell me which among the 4 kind of learners learning modality will benefit most in the given activity or activities. Okay, were you able to catch that? Okay, I will be giving you different activities. Then in the comment section below, tell me which among the 4 learning modalities benefit most in the given activity. Are you ready? Okay, let's get ready now. First, I have here role playing and mini skit. Who among the 4 learners will benefit most in this activity? Can I see your comments? Let me check the comments. Give me a few minutes for this one. Okay. I can't see the comment right now, but I want to see your comments. One answered kinesthetic. And then, let's see. Kinesthetic is correct. Okay. Next, we have jingle, rap song, rhyme, yell, cheer, dance, number. Okay, who will benefit in these activities? Okay, I'm giving you a few minutes to answer that, or a few seconds to answer that. Let me see your answers. Somebody answered auditory. Somebody answered kinesthetic and auditory. Okay, mostly answered auditory. Let's check. Auditory learners. Very nice. Next, we have here newscasting, panel board discussion, Q&A, and debate. Okay, I'll be waiting for your answers. Okay, newscasting, panel board discussion, Q&A, and debate. Let's see the answer. Auditory again. Yes, everybody is answering auditory. Next slide, we have poster making, drawing, slogan making. We're done with that. Let's see. I'll be waiting for your answer. Okay, someone answered visual, someone answered kinesthetic, and many answered visual. And the correct answer is tactile learners. Okay, next activity. Let's see. Speech choir and poem recitation. Let me see. Somebody answered Cherry Toro Toro answered visual. Alex Javier Alvarez answered auditory. Marife Luega answered visual. And the correct answer is auditory learners. Next, we have puzzle pattern designs, paper cutting collage diorama. Okay, somebody asked how to get the e-certificate. I will be giving you the process on how to get this e-certificate later before the end of the program. Tactile. Somebody answered tactile. Another answered visual. Another answered tactile. And let's check. Visual learners. Tactile will also benefit in this pattern set. In this, it should be. I think it should be tactile. Okay. Next slides. It gives us an overview of the different learning modalities and what are the activities that we could provide for them and their description. Like for visual learners, we have watching, demonstration, graphs and images, visual note-taking, and graphic organizers. For auditory learners, they learn through listening to stories, talking things through, conversation, and verbal repetition of information. Next, for kinesthetic, they love interpretative dance, sports, role playing, moving about their learning environment. For the tactile learners, they need physical touch, moving, building, and manipulating objects, simultaneous doodling while listening. Okay, we have here, next slide, I will be presenting to you. I'm now presenting to you collaborative tasks that can be done during online platforms. We can give them activities given as assignment, creating media presentation, experiment, demonstration, workshop, and research work. All of the above activities are guided by the processing questions and they need to be integrated. Processing questions that needed to be integrated in their presentation. And then a while ago, I told you that I'll be presenting about the rubric. Okay, rubric is an evaluation tool or set of guidelines used to promote consistent application of learning expectations, learning objectives, or learning standards to measure how well they perform the given or assigned task. Rubric are given to ensure that all members are actively participating, contributing to the success of the group output. Rubric serves as criterion for assessment. It is important to explain to students the rubric before they begin an assigned task to ensure that learning expectations are clearly communicated and understood. And the parts of the rubric each rubric must have the purpose, what is it all about, the criteria, how are you going to grade them, and the quality standards, what are the expected things for them to do. For my next slides, I will be giving a sample output of my learners. I'm almost done with my presentation actually. Okay, here are some examples, sample output of my learners. I just want to show it to you because a while ago I told you that they are very creative. Yes, learners are amazingly creative and imaginative. Well, I think this is the end of my slides. Never stop learning because life never stops teaching. With this, I'd like to say thank you for your active engagement. Thank you for your thank you for being with me today, and I hope that you have learned something today. And then, thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for your active participation. And with this, I hope you have learned something from me today. And at this juncture, I would like to call on screen our next speaker. He is from the Philippines and also a teacher from SDO Mandaluyong. He is none other than Sir Audrey Curtis D. Let's welcome him with a virtual round of applause. Okay, let's welcome Sir Audrey. Let's just wait for a moment because probably we're having some technical issue right now. Just like everybody know, we were not able to have our live session this
Okay,
morning. Okay, welcome,
so
Sir Audrey. How are you?
I'm doing great. So, good day, everyone. Okay, so thank you, IGP, for this wonderful invitation. So, allow me to express my part in my presentation. Okay, so I will be discussing learning theories in collaborative learning in the new normal together with the online platforms.
Please share your screen.
Okay, so allow me to share my screen. Have you seen my screen already? Okay.
Okay, yes.
So, allow me to introduce myself to each of you. Okay, so good day. Before I'll introduce, look at the students doing. They're collaborating right now to form up with their map in terms of concept. Okay, allow me to introduce myself. So, I had taken up Bachelor of Secondary Education in Mathematics at the La Salle University, Manila since 2009 to 2012. And I had also taken up Masters of Science in Teaching major in mathematics at the same institution since 2013 to 2018. I used to pass the licensure examination for teachers in the Philippines last 2013, and I have 6 years of teaching experience, and I specialize in mathematics and practical research. Okay, so this is the first theory that I will be discussing. Okay, so the first theory we will be discussing will be online collaborative learning. This learning focuses mainly on online modalities together with the teaching and learning strategies, which are all about collaboration. Before, we used to do collaborative learning in the face to face setting, which is located in classrooms, but nowadays, we are doing it in online platforms like Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, and Messenger in Facebook. This is applied when students perform collaborative tasks in various online platforms like Google Meet, Messenger in Facebook, and even Zoom. So allow me to state its goals on each individual. First is to reform the learning environments with the influence of the internet. Second is to promote collaboration and building of knowledge with the help of internet. Based on the first goal, the learning environment created in online must be positive and promote collaboration, creativity, communication, and critical thinking since we are already in the era of K to 12. Second, people can use the skills they have attained in K to 12 during the face-to-face setting to continue the essence of learning even though the face-to-face classes are suspended due to the outbreak of COVID-19. This means that even though we are still fully online, we can still learn and we can still collaborate. Okay, so here are the three phases of knowledge construction. Okay, so these are the following: the idea generation, idea organizing, and intellectual convergence. Okay, so allow me to discuss each of the phase. So the first phase, also known as the idea generation, it focuses on the brainstorming and formulation of ideas. So allow me to present you an example or a situation. A group of students is writing down any ideas about the research topic and title. So this is the first phase of writing a research topic. So brainstorming is normal because each of the group members would need to approve what their title should be. The second phase, idea organizing, it allows people to perform an analysis towards ideas through discussions and arguments. Allow me to continue the step in making a research title through an example. After the formulation and brainstorming of ideas, each of the members has to state his or her reasons why he or she has chosen the title or topic. And then the learner will compare and contrast the reasons and ideas. This means that the leader is in the judgment phase because he is set to decide what topic they should pursue in research. The last phase, intellectual convergence, allowed, allows people to come up with their decisions and conclusions about the ideas being brainstormed and formulated. Aside from it, this also allows them to synthesize. For example, the leader in a group has decided to accept only one of the topic proposals from the member and reject the rest in order to finalize the research title. Okay, so this is really applied in every collaborative task that we are going to do in school, in work, and elsewhere. Okay, so now we're going to proceed to the next slide. So here is the Anderson's learning model. As you see that each of the components are being connected. So this is like a cycle. So based on the diagram shown, students communicate and collaborate whether during asynchronous or synchronous periods in their online classes. This emphasizes communication. While teachers and students form a community of inquiry which enables them to ask questions with one another whether during asynchronous or synchronous periods in their online classes. This also shows that communication is one of the major keys in a student-centered learning environment. So this means that communication is one of the important aspects that we need to practice, not just in school, but also in work and also in family. With the help of the strategies of the teachers acquired in face-to-face modalities, they can be able to form various learning materials and strategies online which fall under structured learning resources. So teachers are the ones who make lesson plans, quizzes, learning materials which can promote student-teacher interaction, and even online learning resources. This can be supported by peers, families, and professionals, and besides, these are also content-centered. With the materials being provided, students can be able to enhance their independent skills in studying. So this means that in online learning, students can be independent because the online learning materials such as videos, modules, and websites, they are being provided to each of them so they can be able to access at their own time. Okay, so now we're going to proceed to the next theory, which is sociocultural constructivist theory. Okay, as you see this picture, each person has different colors. Okay, so before explaining this, allow me to define it briefly. It is one of the theories used in collaborative learning in an online world. This enables people to interact and participate in various tasks, even as groups, despite of different cultures and upbringings. This also allows them to be open with one another regardless of their differences. As you see in this picture, that people collaborate to form a unity. So shall I say that they are doing a task? So even though they have different colors, they have decided to unite with one another. So let's say that each color represents a different personality. So for example, red means temperamental, yellow means happy, blue means calm, and green means nature oriented. So even though they have different personalities, they have decided to work together. Okay. So another example, a group of students who are Japanese, Chinese, Korean, and Filipino. They have decided to form a group so they can be able to create a music video which wherein they can be able to sing a nationalistic song. That's an example of a social cultural constructivist theory. Okay, so this theory promotes collaboration because this focuses on social skills and understanding towards cultures and personalities. Even though the modality is online, it is still possible for them to apply these theories because there are online platforms that can enable them to collaborate and communicate through video and online chats. Social media can also help them to interact and to collaborate despite of different cultures, personalities, upbringings, and attitudes. This can help them accomplish collaborative tasks through communicating in online platforms like Zoom, Facebook Messenger, and Google Meet. This can enable them to form small and large groups whether their activities are. So why social cultural constructivist theory is very important in collaborative tasks? Because this allow us to develop good communication and social interaction. And most of all, this can allow us to be part of this family. Okay. So family is a really important term in this theory and collaborative learning tasks. Okay, so allow me to proceed. So here are the multiple intelligence. So a while ago, Miss Maribeth had mentioned each of the intelligence in every collaborative task. So allow me to define each of the intelligences formulated by Howard Gardner. So these are the following. So spatial, naturalist, musical, bodily kinesthetic, logical mathematical, interpersonal, intrapersonal, and linguistic. First intelligence that we're going to discuss is spatial. So this focuses on visualizing objects in a 3D aspect. I'll give an example for this intelligence. Okay, so each group of three members are required to design a 3D figure in their animation performance task. So this allows them to develop their spatial intelligence since this involves dimensions. Okay, so geometry is another a, a perfect example for this knowledge because this allows us to visualize shapes along with its dimensions if it is 2D or 3D. Naturalist intelligence focuses on scientific concepts, especially biological sciences, which focus on nature and living things. Example, the teacher will conduct a virtual field trip for his students about the zoo and jungle. So the venue will be the zoo together with jungle. Then each group consisting of three members are required to conduct an observation about the behavior of the animals at the zoo and how the plants are being treated in the jungle while they are being in a virtual field trip. Okay, third, musical intelligence focuses on sounds, pitches, tones, rhythms, and timbres. Example, singers will collaborate to form a music video through Zoom. So they don't need to meet face to face, but instead they're going to meet online. But they're going to sing together by recording themselves in Zoom. So this shows their musical intelligence because they're going to express their pitch and tones. Okay. Fourth, is bodily kinesthetic. Bodily kinesthetic focuses on physical activities of every individual. So, for example, students must form a dance video altogether by having themselves captured and recorded by the cameraman who also records videos. To make it clear, they will all dance together in the quadrangle while the cameraman is camcording for the students to have their dance video recorded. Okay, so I have watched dance videos in YouTube. Many celebrities and dancers have taped their dance videos so the viewers will be able to learn on how to dance by imitating them. So this is another example. Okay, fifth is logical mathematical intelligence. This focus on numbers and theories involving mathematical concepts. Example, each group of three should be able to solve problems involving hypothesis testing. In hypothesis testing, they have to follow the steps on how to test the hypothesis. Okay, so first, they're going to state the null and alternative hypothesis. Then second, they're going to state the given. Third, they're going to identify the critical value together with the t statistic as well. Okay, then fourth is they're going to compute for the t statistic. Then they're going to identify if they're going to accept or reject the hypothesis. So that is one example for the logical mathematical. Okay, so when we say interpersonal intelligence, okay, so this focuses on others' emotions, feelings, and interests. Okay, so when we collaborate, we have to make sure that none of us will be offended when we talk. So we need to choose the right words when we're going to discuss and we're going to make suggestions on how are we going to work as a team. So that is one example of interpersonal intelligence. So this focuses on empathy towards one another and understanding. So this promotes our emotional quotient and social quotient as well. When we say intrapersonal, okay, so this focuses on how you feel and your interests and your emotions. So example, I myself, I'm going to write a reflection paper about what I have learned in this webinar. What have I felt in this webinar and what was my experience then? Okay, the last but not the least, which is linguistic. When we say linguistic, this focuses on language literacy. I'll give one example. You're going to construct a story with proper grammar, punctuation, and sentence construction. So this must be done in groups. Okay? So we're going to move to the next slide, which is experiential theory. So this is a theory that involves experiences of every individual. As people say, experience is the best teacher. They have said it because, based on their perspective about learning, they learn and know most from situations and circumstances they have experienced. This also implies that experiences can teach each one of us lessons, especially life skills needed to learn at home and work, and attitudes towards oneself and others. Okay, I'll give one example. My mom does household chores and she asks me to do household chores. With this experience, I learned how to do household chores like washing the dishes, cleaning the floor, fixing the bed, and cleaning the bathroom. So every experience is a lesson, whether positive or negative. That's why we need to learn from every mistake that we did in the past. As we say, mistakes make us a better person because this represent experience. Why experiences play an integral role there? Because this enables people to see, to feel, and to know what's happening after their actions. Experiences can be either consequences, or rewards. Why? Because experiences can be result from our actions. For example, if I cheated an exam, then my experience will be I will be failing. If I study hard, then I will be experiencing getting a good grade. So either way, I'll be learning from every experience, whether positive or negative. Regardless of it, people can learn each of it either in a positive or negative way. Many professionals have said that it is not always about the title when it comes on being successful, but it is more on experiences. They have said that because learning does not only occur through books and four corners of a classroom, but from situations encountered. So here is my example. I have experienced being interviewed by my friends Erica and Daryl. So before, I never experienced being interviewed, but at that time, I learned how to answer interview questions. It's because of their guidance. Okay, so this is one example of a situation wherein experiential theory is applied, and keep it in mind that this is this was being done in a collaborative manner. So this was done through collaborative learning strategies, and the strategy was group interview. Okay, so here is the experiential learning cycle. So according to Club, which is 1984, these are the four key concepts. These are active experimentation, concrete experience, reflective observation, and abstract conceptualization. First, concrete experiences allows people to encounter new experiences and situations and revisit each experience encountered in the past. Observation allows people to review and reflect every experience if there are consistencies or inconsistencies. Abstract conceptualization allows each one of us to realize based on the experience. So, what have we learned from our experience? This can allow us to have a new idea. Active experimentation allows people to apply the idea that was provided during the stage of abstract conceptualization to observe what's happening. This tests them if we have really learned from every experience we have encountered in the past. Since this diagram is a cycle, this can be done repeatedly. Okay, so abstract conceptualization can go back to concrete experience for a new experience. So each day is a new experience, as we say. For example, I have graduated from college, I have learned everything, whether positive or negative. However, I will go back to zero because it will be a new experience if I will be working in a new environment. So every book has its own chapter. So each chapter has its own end. So after its end, there will be another beginning. Okay. So in verbal aspects, conceptual experiences focus on feeling. So when we say verbal, it's much on verb, okay? While reflective observation has something to do with watching experiences. This means that it is more on observing. Abstract conceptualization focuses on perceptions, and active experimentation deals with actions. Okay. So shall we proceed? Okay. What is e-learning? This is also known as experiential e-learning. This allows the learners and teachers to integrate their learning and teaching experiences with the ICTs such as computers, internets, and gadgets like cell phones in every session of learning. When we say cognitivist theory, This play an important role in collaborative learning, even the modalities online. So here are the domains of the Bloom's taxonomy. So the first stage is remembering, next is understanding, next is applying, next is analyzing, next is evaluating, and next is creating. So you need to start with the remembering part. Okay, so remembering allows us to recall facts and memorize, while understanding allows people to understand the meaning of every word. The intermediate stages are applying and analyzing. Applying allows us to connect ideas in real world situations like problem solving and picture diagrams, while analyzing allows us to create analysis towards relationships such as compare and contrast and categorize. After analyzing, we're going to evaluate, which is also to judge. Then after judging, then we're going to create a new output based on what we have learned. So I'm going to give you an example. In practical research, we remember what we have learned in practical research 1. Then we need to understand what are the concepts and how it should be done. Then after that, we're going to apply it through writing a research paper. So we're going to start writing a title, then we're going to explain why our title is like this. Why do we want this study to be conducted? Then we're going to formulate the research questions, the background of the study, the conceptual framework, the review of related literature together with its methodology. So that is more of applying. Then in the analyzing phase, we're going to read what we have got from the Google Scholar in when we're going to make a related literature. So we're going to analyze. Then after that, we're going to evaluate if the each of the topics are connected to the title, even the review of related literature together with the statement of the problem. So afterwards, okay, we're going to have it defended through title defense. So this is the evaluating phase. Then afterwards, we're going to go to the creating phase by having the survey conducted. So this means that we are going to make our own study. Okay. When we say behaviorism, this focuses on behaviors and attitudes of every individuals. Behavior is very popular in school and it is really used in as an issue. For example, when the kids are noisy, what are we going to do? So what consequence we should give them? Okay, if the kids do not study well, what should we give? If the kids study well, if the kids behave, what should we give? So this is more on reinforcements and punishments. Okay, so based on the third law of motion by Isaac Newton, every reaction has an equal reaction. Okay, so this indicates that every action leads to every reaction, which can be either a reward or punishment. So this makes us realize that every action has a consequence or reward. If we do bad things, then we will suffer. But if we do good things, then we will prosper. So this is also said in the Bible that we need to do good things to others so they will be able to do good things to us. Okay, if we are able to please God, then God will be able to bless us. So God will be able to bless us. That is a reward. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example. In the online learning, I have 28 students. Okay, if the students have submitted their work on time, then I will be able to give them a passing grade. So that is the reward. But if they are not able to submit on time, then they will receive a failing mark. So that is the punishment. So in behaviorism, okay, so disciplining a child still occurs even though it's online. So to perform a proper way of disciplining students, okay, w- whether in collaborative task or not, okay, so we need to be able to be proper by speaking words that are really constructive as long as it is not offensive. So we need to be extra careful in our words, especially when we're collaborating because we work as a team. Okay, so why behavior is really important in collaborating? Because if we show good behavior to others, then they will be able to work with us. If we are being mean to to other members, then they will not want to work with us. So it starts with the behavior. Collaboration starts with the behavior actually. So each of the behaviors must be positive in order to have a proper collaboration in every collaborating session. Okay, when we say connectivism learning theory, this theory allows people to connect ideas with one another in terms of thoughts, perspectives, and theories. This also indicates that technology plays an important role in making people connecting with one another through technological means like social medias, emails, and gadgets. So, for example, we're going to form a group chat about the event, then we need to agree with each other so the event will be able to pursue. So that's how connectivism is. Okay, so here, before the online came, we are used to deal with face-to-face settings. Okay, so this focuses on the Bloom's taxonomy and the three theories, which are behaviorism, cognitivism, and constructivism. In behaviorism, we remember the routines that were being taught to us. So we should know the do's and don'ts. And here in the understand phase, we need to understand first before we can be able to follow instructions. So this falls under behaviorism. When we say cognitivism, these are evaluate and create. It's all because we use our knowledge to create a new product. We use everything what we have learned in order to form a new topic. And we use our knowledge to judge each of the personalities and skills. When we say constructivism, okay, so this is like the scaffolding, because in that phase, we are going to analyze and apply what we have learned. So it means to say that we're in the steps on how to form a new project. Okay, but in this digital age, we are in the connectivism, and the good thing is behaviorism, connectivism, ah, behaviorism, cognitivism, constructivism, and connectivism are there. So in this theory, also known as connectivism, we can recognize and connect. So everything is there, right? In the digital age. With the help of the technologies, we can apply behaviorism, cognitivism, constructivism, and connectivism and merge it as one. And this can be merit. Okay, so I'm gonna give a brief recap about the online platforms used in the new normal. So I would like to answer. Okay, so what is this first picture? You may type it now. Okay, so what is the first picture there? So this is Zoom. Okay, while this is Skype, while this is Microsoft Teams, while this is Messenger, and this is Google Meet. In these platforms, we are allowed to share screens so we can be able to present our work and to discuss their lessons. And this allows the viewers to watch what are we going to present. Besides, we can do video calling, we can chat. Okay, so the platform I usually use when I tutor my students is Zoom. Because in Zoom, I can be able to write what I want to discuss, what I really want to draw or whatsoever about writing. So there is a whiteboard feature there in Zoom as well as Google Meet. In Microsoft Teams and Google Meet and even Zoom, we can have meetings regardless of how many we are. But what I like in Messenger is we can form group chats where we can discuss lessons, okay? Where we can exchange messages with one another and where we can upload pictures. So each of them has strengths in terms of being an online platform used in the new normal. So thank you everyone for this wonderful day and thank you for watching this webinar. I hope you will learn and I hope that you can be able to relate your experiences with my discussion. So thank you everyone and have a great day. Stay safe and God bless.
Thank you so much, Sir Audric. Actually, that was a jam pack of useful and interesting information. No doubt our viewers have benefited from today's webinar, and the knowledge you've shared will be useful to our audience. I should say that your discussion is really very interesting. You've got to explain those theories in simpler language where everyone could really understand or have deep understanding of it. Thank you, Sir Audric, and we will be having you again in the Q&A part of the program. For the meantime, you have to stay backstage, but I'll be calling you later for the Q&A part of the program. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, before moving to our Q&A part, my dear audience, let me remind you again, don't forget to like, share, tag your friends in the comment box. Remember that your attachment encourages us to do better and provide you with our best service. Thank you for your support. We will be giving you the e-certificate link in the comment box. And if you encounter any problem, you can collect your e-certificate direct from our website. That is www.eduigp.com. Again, that is www.eduigp.com. Then after collecting your e-certificate, don't forget to celebrate with IGP by your check-in. I am sorry to inform everyone that we do not have our quiz competition today for because we are having some technical issue. For today, we will proceed right away to the Q&A part of our program. And you may start sending your questions now, but for the meantime, I want you to enjoy watching this video. Hello, welcome back, Sir Audric. Let's just wait for a few minutes for them to
Yes.
type their questions. Okay, do you have any question for me and for Sir Audric today? Website is www.eduigp.com. Again, that is www.eduigp.com. Okay. I can't see any question as of the moment, but I think they are still typing.
Don't hesitate to ask.
Yes. Thank you, say AK Adhikari. Feed your skills. That is the IGP's mantra. Okay, we have now our first question from Cherry Toro Toro. To both speakers, what is the main challenge faced in the collaborative learning?
Okay, so allow me to answer. This is a very interesting question. Okay, so the main challenge is the behaviors of the members of the group, because I know that each of us have different personalities, and sometimes it's very difficult to interact because some might disagree and some might agree. So that is the main challenge faced in collaborative learning, is the attitudes of people.
Very interesting answer. Do I have to answer it? Well, I think the very challenging nowadays is how we are going to let the student have the collaborative learning. On which platform are they going to use? Because not all of them have internet connection, or not. They could hardly find time to communicate or have sets date or schedule on how they will be able to do such thing, or they will be able to do the collaborative learning. Well, I think it's setting time and the platform. For me, that's one of the challenges nowadays. To have our next.
Um, Another, wait,
Yes,
can
yes,
I
go.
answer another? Okay, so another thing is the instructions. If the instructions are not properly executed, then it will be difficult for each of us to collaborate.
Yes, that is correct. I agree with that. Next question is from J. Baloy. Questions being asked were tempering the presentations. Better to pop on top. Thank you. Tempering the presentation. Oh, okay. Because tempering the presentations. The questions below the screen. There, he's telling us that during our presentation, there are questions pop up on screen, and it is. I think it is covering the presentation, our presentation. So what I did is I really adjust my presentation a little bit upward because of the questions, but for the other speakers, I think they are not aware of that. If that is what you're pertaining to, Sir J. Baloy, because some speakers are not aware of it, but since I am aware of it, I have to move it a little forward. But I forgot to do that for some parts of my program. I think the latter part of my presentation already. Okay, do we have our next question? From Loida Diaz to both speakers, how do we encourage students to do who do not want to collaborate with others? Instead, they prefer working individually.
Okay, so allow me to answer first.
Yeah.
First of all, we're now in the individualized instruction. Okay, so in the research group, I will express my situation. So there are some groups of five, groups of four, and there is an individual. So the true meaning of collaboration is all groups must be able to help with one another. So to encourage them to perform collaborative learning, first of all, we need to give advices, and we need to encourage them that we can do this, that nothing is impossible with hard work. And I also suggest that we should not pressure them, because some of them are really introverts and we need to respect their personalities. So the true meaning of collaborating is respect towards one another. And individuals can be able to help the groups and vice versa. That's how we do in order to encourage them to be in the collaborative learning. So it's not all about groups, but it's also about helping one another. That's the true essence of collaborative learning.
Yes, and I think whenever we're giving collaborative learning or collaborative tasks, there are some part of it that individuals can work alone, And then after working alone on his own, he could give his output or product to the whole group, and that will contribute to the total output of the group. That that's what I think. So those who prefer to work individually, that is still possible, because whenever, for example, you're giving them research work, those who prefer to work individually, the group leaders could just give them could just assign them tasks and then work on their own. And then afterwards, they will put all the works together. That's what I think about that. Okay, next question is from Marfe B. Timbag. To Sir Audric and Mom Sherry, I'm Marbet. Which application is best for collaborative learning and most engaging?
Okay. So first of all, it depends on the situation. So in my classes, I think it's Messenger because not all can be able to access Zoom or Google Meet due to their mobile data constraints. Then second is also Google Meet. So this Google Meet is also good for collaborative learning because this allows them to present what they have done, and this allows the other members to watch the work of their member. And besides, Google Meet is also engaging as well as Messenger. So it really depends. But for me, it's Facebook Messenger and Google Meet.
Yes, I agree with the Facebook Messenger. You know, one thing that is good about Facebook Messenger is the learners could access it even without data. And then one beautiful thing about Facebook Messenger, although they do not see each other and it's not in a real time, those who were not able to participate during the set schedule, they could do the back read. So even though they were not available on the given time or the schedule, they can back read all the messages and they are well informed because all messages are there. Okay, so I like Facebook Messenger very much. Next question is from Fel Grace to Perales Baloca. To both speakers, in the event the hybrid learning is mandated, how the collaborative learning be implemented during the simultaneous classes, both in face-to-face and online classes? Very interesting question. So it's all about hybrid learning and teaching now. Can you say something with that, Sir Audric?
Oh, yes. In face to face, students are now allowed to use their online platforms so they can be able to interact with those who are in online. But I suggest form a group who are in face to face, form groups who are in online. So this is really possible to be implemented. This can be implemented by allowing themselves to interact with one another in social media. Online students and face-to-face students must be friends with one another so they can be able to form groups. So I would suggest that, for example, in a groups of four, two of them will be face-to-face and two of them are in online. So they can collaborative together in, let's say, writing a research paper, right? And another thing is why it's very interesting for face-to-face learners and online to collaborate because some face-to-face cannot adjust themselves much in online because of their lack of gadgets. While in online, for those who cannot attend face to face due to reasons like sicknesses, family problems, at least they can have the access to deal with their classmates who are in face to face by chatting in social media. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Sir Audric, for that beautiful answer. And next question is from Bambang Judy Bagyono. Sir, what about the world of education after COVID-19, especially for students? What can you say
Okay.
about?
So it is really hard to predict, but I safely assume that we will be going back to face with the mixture of online learning. That's what we call blended learning, which consists of face to face and online modalities. Before the pandemic, we have schools which have blended learning, which is called AMA University. In AMA, students usually do face-to-face and online tasks at the simultaneous period. Okay, so if I will be to answer, the modality will be blended learning after the COVID-19, because we will not go back to the normal we used to live with anymore. So, and besides, people are slowly dependent on technologies. So, we have to give the benefit of the doubt for those who want to be online, right? And it's the right for them to learn.
Yes, that is correct, sir. There are those students who prefer online learning than face to face learning, and there are those students who prefer face to face learning than online learning. So I think it will be blended learning, or sometimes they call it hybrid learning. Okay, do we have more questions? Okay, from Franklina Kahilig, is collaborative learning can be applied in modular printed distance learning? How can it be?
Yes, it is really possible, especially if it is done face to face or online. So it modular learners can also access their social media in Facebook, because I have students who are in modular and they can still interact with their classmates and me through Facebook. And first of all they can do is to follow the instructions made by their teacher and their classmates who are in the online learning. So it is very possible for them to be able to have a collaborative learning if they are able to cooperate with online learners and the teacher and even the face-to-face learners. First of all, without the communication, there will be no collaborative learning. That's why they really need to communicate with one another, and they really need to have their creativity skills and critical thinking skills. The four C's that we have got in K to 12. Yeah.
Okay, I think, okay, we have our next question. Do we have more questions? Okay, next question from Reselda Del Mundo. What are the limitations of collaborative learning as strategy in class?
Very interesting, teacher Maribeth. Okay. So some of the members will depend on their leader when it comes to group tasks, because they think that they will be having the same grade together with the leader. That is the limitation. Then aside from it, each of the members has the tendency to overpower each of the members. They can't even have equal distributions because of their skills and their levels. So that's the limitations.
Okay, do we have our next question? Okay, next question. I will be just the host today and you will be the one answering the questions. Okay, next is from Tantan Balila EM. Collaborative learning is meant to make students work together. My question is, how can we immerse students with inferiority complex to work along with students that are socially active with regards to school activities? Thank you very much.
First
How
of
to
all,
immerse?
each of the students must have a positive relationship with one another. Then second is encouragement towards one another, because we cannot force each of them to deal with them in one sitting. As they say that some people are introverts, some of them are extroverts. So what are we going to do is to give them baby steps for them to blend with people who are socially active in school activities. So actually it really takes time for them to adjust. So the best thing is give them time to adjust. Thank you for the question.
Okay. I think that completes the Q&A part of the program. Sir Audric, thank you so much for being with us today. I am so happy to be with you here in IGP. And
Hello,
to
ma'am.
all the, yes, sir.
Thank you very much, ma'am, and Sir Audrey, for giving your valuable time today. Today we have lots of participants and lots of question and answer today. Thank you very much, sir. Especially thanks to our ma'am Maribeth for your outstanding speakership and hosting today.
Thank you, Sir Kamru.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Sir
ma'am.
Kamru. And thank you, Miss Maribeth. It's a
Thank
very wonderful experience for me to present this paper, and I'm really happy.
Yes, I'm so
It's
happy
such an
to.
honor to be part of this event.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. And we hope to see. We will definitely see you again here in IGP for sure, because we have another schedule here in IGP. So we will see you again. And I hope you enjoy being with us today. And welcome to the IGP family, Sir Audrey. Thank you again, Sir Audric, for all the wonderful responses that you have given to our audience, and thank you for your marvelous presentation. Thank you, sir. To all the participants who actively participated in the Q&A part, thank you so much for all the questions, and I hope that you have gained understanding of today's webinar, and also to Sir Audric, thank you so much for gracing our event today. We'll look forward for seeing you again here in IGP. Thank you, sir.
Thank you as well. May God bless you and have a great day.
Okay, that this has been a very rewarding day because all of the of our lively and enthusiastic speakers, Sir Audric. And to my fellow knowledge seekers, I would like to thank all of you for attending today's session. Let me thank you from being so patient, attentive throughout the webinar. Hopefully, you have learned something new today that will be useful in your life. The beautiful thing about learning is nobody can take it away from you. If you learned something or we have been helpful to you, even just a little bit, please leave a review on our page. And also don't forget to like, subscribe to our Facebook page, Facebook group, and YouTube channel. Please spread the information about IGP to your friends. Don't forget to collect your e-certificate after the session and give a check-in with IGP. You may collect it from our website or through the link pin through the link mentioned below. Our code for today is IGP 38 3987. Again, our code for today is IGP 3987. Okay, a while ago, read somebody a comment asking on how to collect the certificate. Okay, the code again is IGP38. You have to remember the code that is IGP3987 and the date today and the webinar title. Keep in mind those things because those are important details in collecting your certificate. To collect your e-certificate, please go to www.eduigp.com. Make sure to log in using your account, or if you are just new, you have to create an account in our website. Then after creating your account, be sure to log in. Then using your account, click free webinars. Choose today's webinar date and title. Click the bar or the tab enroll now. Our webinar title today is collaborative learning during the new normal. Then click the bar or tab get your certificate. You have to enroll. Click the bar enroll now. Then once you are enrolled, enter the code for today. Then click the bar, get your certificate. Your e-certificate will be auto-downloaded to your device. Remember, our code for today is IGP3987. Well, that concludes our program for today. To all the IGP pre-international webinar participants, thank you so much for your unwavering support. Thank you for your active participation. Thank you for your heartwarming messages. Remember, IGP is always here to render you our best service. At this point, I would like to thank once again the team IGP for another successful live session. We hope to see you all again in our next webinars. All things work together for good to those who love God and to those who are called according to his purpose. Thank you so much. Stay happy, stay safe, everyone. Again, this has been your host and one of your speaker for tonight, Marbeth from the Philippines, signing off. To God be the glory. Bye, everyone.